Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Paul Brown Show. And this evening, my guest will be Miss Bettie Hayes she's the President League of Women's Voters of Charlotte Meck, and Miss Annette Taylor, Executive Director, North Carolina Center for Women in Public Service. How y'all ladies doing?
Doing well, thank
Very
you.
good.
Great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting
Yes.
us.
First of all, let's tell the audience about yourself.
Betty Ann Hayes, current president of the League of Women Voters. I've been the president for the past 2 years, and I'm just about to finish my second term.
I'm Annette Taylor with the North Carolina Center for Women in Public Service, and I have been with the organization for a little less than a year. We're located in Raleigh, but we are a statewide organization.
Two awesome programs, ladies and gentlemen. Two awesome programs. Okay, let's first talk about what's the primary goal of the North Carolina Center for Women in Public Service?
Well, it is our goal to increase the representation of women in public office by boards or commissions or elected office, and to prepare them to seek and to serve in those offices.
Why is there such an issue with getting the women more involved in public service?
Well, I think it's very important for the viewers to know and to understand and be educated on how we are not represented in public office. We make up 54% of registered voters, as I'm sure Ms. Hayes will tell you, and we represent 22% of office holders in North Carolina. So that means that we are not being represented at the policy-making table. And considering we bring a diverse set of experiences and views and perspectives, it's very important that our voice is heard.
And being that both of your programs go hand in hand, why is it so vital that voting in women?
Well, it's critical for women to vote because our voice needs to be heard. It's important for us to have to be part of policy making and decision making and decisions about priorities in the state. What are our priorities as a state? What should our legislators in Raleigh be focusing on? Where should the money be spent in North Carolina?
Okay, as far as the voting, they're having a lot of laws coming out, especially the voter's ID. How will that impact not only the women and the men, but also young ladies in public service?
Well, the League has taken a very strong position against the photo ID bill. We feel it's unnecessary and that it will inhibit many voters, and that it is not necessary, it's not needed. It will have a particular impact on women because it will have a significant impact on women that are poor, and we know that women make up a large portion of those that have lower incomes in North Carolina. It will also impact the elderly, and we know that women are a large part of the elderly population in North Carolina. Also, women tend to give up their driver's license sooner than a man does, so women will be impacted in that way as well.
I would say that the impact of this bill will cause women to stand up and have their voice heard, and to realize that they're very passionate about issues that are going to affect. And this voter ID bill, you know, it makes a big difference if it were to pass. And I would say that women are going to use that type of passion and turn that into action. And that's what our goal is that women will take their passion and become effective leaders in our community.
Now, women are real strong individuals now. I know they are. Why is it so important that they get involved in politics dealing with your public service?
Well, we need to be heard. We are collaborative individuals. We are willing to make decisions together regardless of our party. I may have mentioned before that the Center for Women in Public Service is nonpartisan, and our training help women to think about the proper strategies to be effective and fair and ethical. And we're the type of people who are willing to compromise and work together with all folks and for all the right reasons that affect our women's issues, families and children and education, and all the different policies that make a difference for our community.
Do you think that you're getting a lot of women even trying to get involved in public service, or do you think that they should be more active than that?
I definitely believe women should be more active, and women are very active in our community. They just don't know where to start. They just don't quite understand the process. They don't know exactly what steps to take and who to talk to. And what we try to help women to understand is develop a network. Make yourself known. Ask the right questions and talk to people who are current leaders in this field of public service, and identify a mentor. And identifying your passion, most importantly, and understanding, how to turn that into real action. But being involved in the electoral process, I think, is a big deal, a key that takes that very far.
And how would that relate to the voting aspect of it?
Well, part of what the League does, one of our primary roles, is we are voter advocates and we're also voter educators. And we believe that an informed and educated voter is the perfect voter. Right. And so what we try to do is, through a nonpartisan grassroots organization, is create opportunities so that the voter can have unbiased information, whether it's about a candidate or about an issue, and also that they understand the process. In one of our programs, Civics 101, we just recently had a class to complete a 5-week course, is an introduction to local government so that they can understand, how does county commission work? What is county commission responsible for? How does city council work? What is it responsible for? What is the budget? Because if you are informed as to how government works, then you can better participate in government.
Okay, well, getting back to the ladies as far as participating in it, why did you want to become the executive director of this program, this organization, Ms. Carol?
I really want to help women make a difference, and because I am passionate about the women's agenda, I knew that this would be a really great way to, move that passion of mine forward. I knew that helping to train women and helping them to turn their passion into action through public service would really, cause me to make a difference in this role. And I feel like we're doing that. We have a Women in Office Institute that we conduct every summer at William Peace University. It's a 7-day intensive leadership training program to provide the introduction to public service and the political process. As Ms. Hayes mentioned earlier, with their Civics 101, we have a similar program, and this provides folks all the tools that they need, including campaigning and fundraising and creating strategies to run effective campaigns and then to serve in office. So I became very excited and moved by the opportunity to be a part of something like that, to take their mission, this mission of helping women to move into elected and appointed office.
And Ms. Hayes, what made you want to become the president of the Women's Voters?
Very inspired by the women in the League. The women that are in the League are activists. And we are, while we are nonpartisan, we do not support or oppose candidates or parties, but we are very political, and we are issues based, and we work through consensus, and we have positions on all issues of the day. Every issue is a woman's issue, whether it's health care, it's immigration, it's campaign finance reform, it's education, it's the environment. Every issue is a woman's issue. And through the League, in a nonpartisan way, we can collectively work together to find the best answers to solve our problems and our issues and concerns in Charlotte and in North Carolina.
What are some barriers or challenges women face when considering a life in public service? Uh-oh, we got it. Come on now.
I believe women need the confidence that they can do this. I mean, they oftentimes work at behind the scenes, and sometimes they're working at a grassroots level, and someone has to ask them. And so We encourage people to, ask a woman to run for office. So building that confidence is one of the barriers that women must overcome to realize that they really can do it, because we can run and we can win. So getting that mentality and really believing in yourself. So that is first and foremost. Obviously, we are taking care of families and concerned about our household and even our careers, and whether that career is one that will allow us the flexibility to be able to serve in public office. And so those are a couple of barriers, but whether we also have the network that we need to move into a higher position and be able to serve responsibly in that role.
Do you think that the women gets the support from the men, their partner, when they're pursuing something in public service or maybe in the voting?
Well, in the League of Women Voters, we have male members as well, and we have many male members. And in our league, on our board, we have 2 men that are currently serving on our board of directors, and we also have men serving at the state level. So I think when it comes to issues based, that yes, we definitely feel support from men. I think it's up to us to ensure that they understand what we're concerned about, and to include them and encourage them to support us and encourage them to be a part of organizations like the League.
How about yourself, Ms. Taylor?
I believe that it is important for a woman who is considering public office to have a support network, whether that includes her partner or her relatives or neighbors even. You got to be open and willing to call on others to help you with the responsibilities that you have, if it's children, or even if you're taking care of a elderly parent or someone, if you're a caretaker. I think it's important to have a network, and I believe that spouses and partners are very supportive. And I think it's important that we make it known to them what our interests and passions are when we're considering running for office.
But do you feel like that could be one of the reasons why there's not as much participation for the political field from women, that they may feel that the men may not support them in that type of area like they would support that men?
I do believe that women tend to be more supportive of men who are running for office, because it just seems that it's the thing for them to do. They're looked at as the natural leaders. Our men sometimes think that we are very emotional about our passions, and that will come out and come across at the policy-making table. And sometimes that is not seen as a positive in some respects. But I believe that it's worth the risk, because there needs to be change in communities, and there needs to be change in the policy making table. And I believe women should not allow that to be a deterrent when it comes to getting on the ballot.
Good point, good point. And talking about the Women's League now, what do you like most about the Raleigh-Durham area as far, well, the whole North Carolina? How do you feel about us participating in things like this, in the voting or in politics?
It's critically important that we share our stories.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing today, is to share our stories, because there are so many opportunities for women, whether it's an organization like the League or an opportunity to learn and to be encouraged to run for office. I really feel like that it's it's our time, and that there are opportunities, that we are leaders and we can be leaders, whether in policy making, whether it's in healthcare or in education or immigration. The League, we work through consent